Bronze Age comic book podcast, Flea Market Fantasy. I'm your co-host, Mike L, and as always, I'm joined by...
Michael Dell of the LCS Hockey Radio Show.
That's right, and this week it is your pick, and you always pick quality comics, so tell everybody what we're going to review.
We're going to go with U.S.1, issue 7,
Woo!
from 1983. Now, Mike L, I've always heard about U.S.1, but I never had any concept of it. But basically, it's about a fella who drives an 18-wheeler, and there you go. That's the book.
Okay, there's a lot I didn't realize about this comic, but we'll talk about it as we go along.
Did you have any concept of the book?
No, I mean, I knew there was trucks involved, and I think that's it.
Yeah, it kind of has a reputation for being so batshit crazy, terrible that that's
Right.
always the joke. When US1, all right, oh yeah, but I never read it. I had no idea who was behind it or who the characters were. So today we get to learn all that.
Awesome.
Yes, I can tell you're very excited.
Woo!
So the US1, it was actually a toy line from Tyco Toys.
See, I didn't know that until today.
Yeah, it's the toy line ran from 1981 to 1986, and it was a line of HO scale slot car sets based on trucks. Now, I don't know what HO. I guess it's a size of a toy train or whatever, right?
Okay.
Cars. And then the slot. It's like when you're a kid, Mike. You had the little plastic tracks, and then their car would sit in a slot, and then it would ride around the thing. That's what we're talking about here with the US1. And the comic book series, so they licensed the idea to Marvel there, and Marvel produced the comic book. It lasted 12 issues from May 1983 to October 1984. I never owned any of them.
Neither did I.
I did look up the price, and you can still get issue 1 for $3. That seems like a nice investment.
Yeah,
kids out there. Yeah. Pick up US1, issue 1. Now, the characters were created by Al Milgrom and Herb Trimpe. And
I like Herb Trimpe.
Yeah, you do like Herb Trimpe. And apparently you don't like Al Milgrom from what we've discussed in the past.
Not really. Not my favorite.
But Milgram wrote the entire series, and the artists were Herb Trimpe, Frank Springer, who drew today's issue, and Steve Ditko.
Yeah, surprising, eh?
It's crazy that Ditko worked on US1.
Right. Talk about slumming it.
Never would have guessed. So the main character here is a fellow named Ulysses Solomon Archer. And his nickname is US. Ulysses Solomon, US.
I see. A little play on words there. Okay.
His truck's name is US1.
Very confusing.
Yes, it was very confusing.
Yeah.
So Ulysses, after his parents, who were truckers, were killed in an accident, US and his brother Jefferson were taken in by Poppa Wheelie. That's right, that's a guy's name. And Wide Load Annie at the Shortstop Diner.
Yikes.
So the one guy's name was Ed Poppa Wheelie Wheeler. So, his nickname. Poppa Wheelie.
Nice.
I think we don't encounter this fella in this book, but I believe in issue 3 or 4 or something, one of the villains was named Baron Von Blimp.
Yikes.
And we got Wide Load Annie. And then there's another fella in this book called Retread. So yeah, this is pretty awesome stuff. But anyway, so Ulysses and his brother Jefferson were taken in by Poppa Wheelie and Wide Load Annie at the Shortstop Diner. And then after college, Ulysses, I'm just going to call him US, was driven off the road by the evil Highwayman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very creative name.
Yeah. So US, he survived, but the top of his skull was replaced by an experimental alloy, which gave him the ability to pick up certain radio frequencies.
Whoa. Crazy.
So he's got a metal skull, and he can pick up radio frequencies. So, Michael, you're probably asking yourself, how does he change the channel on the radio? Well, here's how he does it. He touches the metal fillings in his teeth with his tongue.
Ridiculous.
And that's how he can change the frequencies.
Wow.
This book is amazing.
That is amazing.
So So U.S., after he recovers with his metal skull there, he says, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get me revenge on that Highwayman guy. I'm going after him. And he uses the skills he learned in college. I guess he went to college to be an engineer or something. So he souped up his truck with weapons and gadgets.
Okay.
Then he went out to get revenge on the Highwayman. Yeah.
All right. Sounds like a good premise to me.
Yeah, it sounds amazing to me.
Yeah.
So that's where we are. Any other questions you have about the Highwayman, or not the Highwayman, the U.S. His backstory there? U.S. Ulysses Solomon. Archer.
I mean, I don't know. I guess the question is how much of this did Al Milgram come up with? Do you know?
All of it. Yeah, he created all of it.
Whoa, really? Well, good for
him.
Yeah,
he came up with all of it. For the best of my knowledge, he came up with all of this.
Okay.
Yeah. Or were you thinking maybe Jim Shooter stepped in? Because remember how Shooter
or
came up with
yeah, exactly. Just like how Transformers, a lot of it was thought by Jim Shooter and Denny O'Neil, but I guess not in this case, right?
I don't know. I did verify that. But all I've ever read was Al Milgram created the characters and everything. So I don't know. Do you want to talk about Al Milgram at the top here? Or should we wait?
Yeah, we could talk about him, whatever, sure. Yeah.
He was born in 1950 in Detroit, Michigan, Mike.
Oh, that's why I've seen him at Michigan Comic-Cons.
Your neck of the woods.
Yep.
There. And he graduated from the University of Michigan in 1972. He started in the comics that same year as an assistant to inker Murphy Anderson. Do you know Murphy Anderson?
Oh, yes. Famous Superman Kurt Swan inker, absolutely.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had no idea who he was. Yep. At one point, we've talked about this before on the show, but at one point, Al Milgram lived in the same Queens apartment building as Walt Simonson, Howard Chaykin, and Bernie Wrightson.
Really?
And we mentioned this before, I think, when we were talking about Walt, maybe, or Chaykin.
Okay.
But they all hung out together, and they're in their early 20s, and they just talk comics and lived in the same building.
Oh, sounds like a dream life, eh?
Yeah. And then he first came to prominence as a penciler on Captain Marvel from 1975 to 1977, and he also drew the Guardians of the Galaxy feature in Marvel Presents. You remember the old Guardians?
I've read all of those comics you just mentioned. Captain Marvel and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
They're all terrible. Anyway.
From 1977 to 1978, Milgram worked as an editor at DC. And during that time, he co-created Firestorm with Jerry Conway.
Which we've read. We've read, not the one he did, but the second series.
Yeah. In 1979, he returned to Marvel as an editor, and he edited Marvel Fanfare's entire 10-year run from 1982 to 1992.
Classic
That's probably
stuff.
what he's most famous for, as
I think so.
The guy who ran Marvel Fanfare for 10 years.
Yeah, I think so.
But he was an artist, and an editor, and an inker. He was a prolific inker. He did a lot more inking. But as an artist, he also he drew the Avengers between 1983 and 1985.
Yeah.
Then he drew the West Coast Avengers from 1985 to 1988. He drew the Kitty Pryde and Wolverine miniseries in 84-85. And this is where you love him, Michael. He drew Secret Wars 2 in 1985-86.
Yikes. Bad stuff. I also read Kitty Pryde and Wolverine. It's pretty terrible.
Yes. He wrote and drew the Spectacular Spider-Man from issues 90 to 100 in 1984-85. You've probably read those, right, on the Spider-Cast?
Yeah. Yep, all terrible. Yep.
Really?
Yeah, they're pretty brutal. Yep.
And he also wrote and drew The Incredible Hulk in 1986 and 87.
Also read those. Also terrible.
But as I said, he probably he did more inking than anything, and he had an 8-year stint on X Factor from 1989 to 1997. That's
really? Okay.
Quite the run. He was also a longtime inker with Jim Starlin. He always did a bunch of Jim Starlin stuff from the Captain Marvel days and throughout his career. All told at Marvel, he had 686 inking credits, 213 penciling credits, and 83 writing credits. He also edited 378 books and worked on 759 covers. Now, I don't know how many of those he drew and how many he inked, but I'm guessing he inked it. I don't know. But anyway. So, yeah, he's quite the comic book creator there at Marvel.
Yes, absolutely. Now, we can't mention his name without talking about why he was fired, right?
I was just going to bring this up. I know we've mentioned this before on the show at some point, maybe in passing, but maybe when we did the Marvel Fanfare stuff. But in 2001, Al Milgram was fired from his Marvel staff job when it was discovered he had hidden his scandalous comments about former editor-in-chief Bob Harras in the background of a page in the Universe X special, Spidey #1.
Yes.
Did you what the fuck is a Universe X special?
I think it was an Alex Ross brainchild. You know Alex Ross?
Yes, the guy who paints all the art and everything. Yeah.
So this was Marvel wanted him to do their own version of Kingdom Come, but he didn't want to. So instead, I think he just came up with all the ideas, and then they just got someone else to paint it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in this book here, I think this book was drawn by Jackson Geiss.
Okay.
Is that how you say his last name?
I think Geiss or Guice. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Geiss. I don't know.
We'll go with Geiss. So the book was drawn by Jackson Geiss, but 3 different people inked it, and I can't remember the other 2. But Al Milgram, when he was inking one page, there is a bookshelf in the background of a panel, and along the spines of the books, Milgram inked in, Harris, haha, he's gone. Good riddance to bad rubbish. He was a nasty SOB.
Yeah.
And he just did his little joke. Now, the editor found it, all right?
Okay.
And the editor erased it, and he said, all right, we're not putting that in the book. But then when Marvel went to print, they used the wrong file. And
whoops.
It still had the insult in there. So the book got published with that insult. And I guess they had a program, I don't know if they still do this, Michael, but they had a program called First Look where they would give the book out to some people.
Okay.
Some stores in advance or something, I don't know. But enough readers noticed, which I don't know, it's hard to even read, yet they somehow noticed. And they so when Marvel found out, they were really pissed. And they had to destroy all those books. They pulped them, as we like to say. And they had to reprint it without the insult in there. And so naturally they were pretty pissed about it. So they fired Milgram, but they still let him work as a freelancer, but he lost his staff gig, you know?
Okay.
So, but he also had to pay for the cost of the pulped books.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, but here's the best part, Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but this is the best part. So years later, when that Spidey issue was eventually collected in a trade paperback.
Oh, no, I know what's going to happen.
Marvel once again accidentally published the page with the Harris insult.
Come on. Are you kidding me?
I guess they only had the one file, the original on file. That was the only version that was archived. And I guess the people putting the paperback together had no idea about any of this controversy, so they didn't even look at it or anything. And then it got published again.
Did they have to scrap that one too?
I don't know. The article I read, they didn't say whether they did scrap probably not, because who cares? It's like,
right.
What does it matter? It's like,
right.
I don't know why anyone was so upset about it, but all right. So, yeah, how about that?
Well, I'm going to guess that if someone went to the trouble of writing that in a comic, the guy, Bob Harris, probably was a son of a bitch, right? So,
yeah, I mean,
who cares?
Who cares? You really, like, they were worried, I guess Harris was going to sue them or something, but what, who cares?
Who gives a shit, right?
So there you go. Did you know anything else about that story you'd like to add?
No, I don't really know anything about it. I just know that, yeah, I guess they still hired him back. I knew that, but I did read somewhere that Al Milgram was the distant cousin or nephew of Stan Lee or Martin Goodman or something. Is that true?
I don't know.
Okay. Nothing about that.
I never encountered that. But I didn't do extensive research or anything. Okay. One other thing I noted, in the Ant-Man movie, I guess the characters stay at Milgram Hotel.
Oh,
and
really?
Apparently that was a nod to Al Milgram.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Huh.
See, there you go. There's Al Milgram, the writer of this issue. And the artist, Frank Springer, he drew issues 3 through 8, 10, and 11 of U.S.1. And we've talked about him before in the show. We went into detail because he wrote and drew that Dazzler issue we did.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Yeah. So if you want to hear about Frank Springer, go back there because I'm not talking about him again.
I'm a fan of Frank Springer.
Yeah, I like his art too. I just didn't want to do all the research.
Yeah,
all right, so there
gotcha.
You go. So they're the creative team here for this issue. All right, you ready, Michael?
Ready to dive in?
Yeah, let's go.
Sure, okay. Woo! First, we're going to talk about this logo, I guess, right?
Yeah.
U.S.1. I guess it's like a shield, like a... What would you call this? Yeah, shield, right?
Yeah, but it's kind of like the logo we see in the United States, Michael, on our highway system. It's just that logo. So
Okay. I mean, I'm sure I've seen it before. I just didn't realize what it was. But yeah, it just says U.S.1. The top is in red. The bottom's in... Well, the background of the top is in red. The background of the bottom is in blue. And then U.S. and 1 are white. And then the border is in white, right?
Yep.
And then we got our corner box here with... what's his name? It's just U.S., right?
Ulysses Solomon Archer, or U.S. for short.
U.S. We'll just call him U.S. So he's giving the thumbs up and a wink, right?
Yeah, thumbs up and a wink. He's like, hey, I got a metal skull. But we should say you can't see his skull. He's got blonde hair and everything. So Is that a wig? Or what's going on there? I don't know. Good question. And he wears a red headband as well.
Right.
Blonde hair and a red headband. He's winking at you. Yeah.
And then we got... So this cover, we have to mention, this is by Michael Golden, who's one of my favorite artists. And all the covers except 2 are by Michael Golden, and they're all, I think, painted. So this was kind of unusual at the time, but yeah, he's got a very unique style. To the modern, reader, he might appear sort of prototypical Image comics, right? Because that's what this Image, all the Image artists imitated the style. But we've got this woman, this is Whiplash, right?
Yep. No, Midnight.
Oh, Midnight. Standing with her legs apart, and she's holding her, this is a Whiplash, right?
A whip, yeah.
A whip.
Just called
a
whip.
whip.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a whip. And it kind of almost looks like Spider-Man's spaghetti webbing.
It does. That's what I was going to point out to you. Like, this is 83. But I guess the artist inside the book were drawing it like that.
Okay.
So he made it, because it's just like a normal whip, but it has little, looks like bolts every once in a while on it. So it does kind of look like the spaghetti webbing.
Right, and you know that Michael Golden did create the spaghetti webbing, right?
We talked about that before. He was doing it in Marvel Fanfare, I think, right? Wasn't that when he...
I think it was... he did, but his original... The first time he did it was, I think, in a Defenders pinup or something like that.
Oh, all right, yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So yeah, she's standing in front of U.S.1, which is the truck.
Yes.
Actually, she's standing on it. I guess she's standing on the bumper.
Yeah, kind of, yep.
Yeah, it's kind of awkward because it's hard.
Yeah, it doesn't look like she's standing there. Like, three-dimensionally, she would not be able to be standing.
Right. The depth is kind of weird with this truck, too. It's kind of hard to tell, like, the perspective of everything. But, yeah, she's kind of standing on it. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Michael Golden, but this cover's a little awkward.
Yeah, I think it's more symbolic than actually her standing there specifically.
Right.
I would have taken another swing at that left leg of hers. But
yeah.
But it's still a great cover. I think it's a striking cover.
Yeah.
Because she looks hot with all the hair and the whip and everything, and and the truck. So yeah, it's a nice cover. It'll grab your attention.
Definitely stands out. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're gonna dive in. Oh, we're gonna talk about Burger Time.
And there's a lot. Right. There's some pretty great ads in this book. But Burger Time was a video game. It was coming soon. Now, did you have Burger Time, Michael?
No, definitely not.
I did not either. But I remember it when I was a kid. Basically, like, you're a chef. Running through up these ladders and different platforms, and you're being chased by fried eggs, and hot dogs, and hamburgers and stuff, and pickles, and I think you had to try and make a hamburger. Maybe that looks
so delicious. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we start off with a very weird scene of. So this is U.S.1, which is the truck. It's the truck. It's a truck. It's driving down the highway, and it's a bunch of, small panels, like close-ups of like the grill, then the tire, then the, what are those called? Smokestacks. And it's being narrated by US1, the truck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the truck is kind of narrating, like, my headlights stab through the ink black night, lighting a path for my wheels to follow, and all that kind of thing. And it's kind of explaining what's going on, and then the truck kind of gets to... It introduces Wide Load Annie, sits eye staring, mesmerized.
And she's like an old lady. She's like looks like being in her 60s, gray hair, and she's a large woman. So Wide Load Annie.
Right. And then it says, beside her at the wheel is Ulysses Solomon Archer. He is my driver, my creator, my master. Call him US for short. And me, big splash page. I am the truck. I am US1. Okay, here is where the confusion begins. We have a wavy speech bubble coming from the truck, but
yes.
And then for the entire issue, the truck is talking, but they can't hear the truck's speech.
Correct. Even though they're in dialogue bubbles,
right?
Yeah, it's very weird because I'm like, wait, is this like a Michael Knight Kit situation where the car is talking to the truck? But yeah, even though we can see the truck talking in dialogue, why wouldn't they just keep doing it in narration the way they were doing it? You know,
right? Or thought bubbles, right?
Yeah, it's just weird. And from what I can gather, Michael, this is the only time this is depicted this way. Like this is the only issue where he's talking because the title of this book is Semi-Intelligence. So I don't know because I looked at a couple other issues and the truck wasn't talking.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I think this is just the one-off. I think. Okay. I haven't read any other issues, but I just like flipped through them, and there was never any dialogue box. So I think this was just a one-off, quirky idea Al Milgram did for this issue.
Right.
It's very awkward.
So weird. Yeah.
And it is very strange. Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Well, anyway, so then, so we see the truck, semi-intelligence, and then, and the truck is basically flashing back to the last issue, right? And explaining that in the last issue, Wide Load got struck with a strange whip.
Yeah, she wasn't hit by the whip, but the whip, because it says it didn't even actually touch her. But this Midnight Lady, we didn't describe her costume either, by the way, but she's a smoking hot brunette with this, she kind of looked like the mask is kind of like Polaris. That mask that Polaris wore.
Yeah, you could say that, yep.
If I'm, not Polaris. Was it Polaris? I'm thinking of, remember Malice?
Oh, yes, Malice, when Polaris became Malice.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Okay.
Okay. And she has like a red purplish coat, right? Like white trim and like purple pants and boots and everything. Good looking lady, this Midnight. Yeah. I gotta tell you. Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, Michael Golden created Rogue's costume. And if you were to change this jacket to green, this would be similar to Rogue. Huh.
Yeah, the original Rogue costume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So anyway, so her whip, she like cracks it next to people, and it can hypnotize them.
Right.
So that's what she did to Wide Load Annie. She hypnotized her.
Okay, so anyway, so Wide Load Annie is acting, like her speech is all, what is this called? Ellipses? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the three little dots.
Yeah. So her speech, I guess, is supposed to be kind of like stilted and flat. That's what the idea they're trying to get across. So U.S. is trying to talk to her, but she's kind of just, flat and monotone, right?
Yep.
And then, so they're talking, or he's talking, and then and then at the end of the scene, we cut back to the truck. And so the truck is also talking. What does he think I am, a Greyhound bus? Oh, well, it won't be long before we're back at shortstop and we can all get some rest. So weird.
Yeah, it's so, yes, because like the panel before that, we see U.S. and Wide Load Annie inside the truck, and he's talking to her, and there's a normal dialogue balloon. Then we see the next panel is the exterior shot from behind the truck as it's driving down a highway, and we get a wobbly dialogue balloon coming out of the truck. So, we know it's U.S.1, but if you're not paying attention, you would just start reading it as U.S. because he was talking in the previous panel. So, yeah, it's, I don't know, it's strange.
Bizarre, yep. Okay, so then we get to the shortstop, which is a diner, right? Like a roadside diner.
Yep.
And we're introduced to the rest of the supporting cast here, right? So we're introduced to Mary McGrill, the sweetest little waitress who ever had her bottom pinched by a trucker.
That's right. And that's Mike L. saying that. That's not in the book. Oh, no, wait. That's actually written in the comic book.
in the book, yes. Also, Taryn O'Connell. She's what they call her toughest... Oh, wait. Taryn down the highway... Oh, sorry. Taryn down the highway is what they call her. Toughest lady trucker I ever saw. And I use the term lady loosely.
Yeah, her name's Taryn, Taryn. Right. And her nickname is Taryn down the highway.
Right.
But yeah, they're two, the Mary McGrill's a hot blonde waitress, and then Taryn down the highway, they're like a redhead, a smoking hot redhead.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we're also introduced to Poppa Wheelie, who's a top drag racer. Now he's co-owner of Shortstop and the best mechanic in the business. And he's kind of a bigger guy with like overalls and a stogie, right?
Yeah.
And then we see this other guy with like a vest, and his name is Retread. Jack of all trades.
Retread.
Oh, Retread. Okay.
Yeah.
Jack of all trades, bad at every one of them.
What's going on there in that I guess that picture of Retread and Poppa Wheelie is just like look at the leg position on Retread's knee and the legs of Poppa.
Yeah, you're right. His knee is behind Poppa Wheelie, but that makes no sense. Yeah.
Yeah, makes no sense. But anyway, that's still the truck talking, like introducing us to these people. And then in the next panel, we get more, it's like an exterior shot of everyone outside the truck. And we get another dialogue balloon from the truck. And he's talking about, hey, there's Jobber Caracella, who got U.S. the Haul to Peaceful Vista. Yeah, I guess he was hired to take something to Peaceful Vista.
Right.
So he's giving U.S. some money. And then a U.S. gives the money to Poppa Wheelie because he's like, hey, you got some mortgage payments on this diner. This will help you out. What a guy. What a guy.
See, now, I got to point out the inker here is Mike Esposito, and I was going to say that flubbed anatomy we saw on the last page might be his fault, like the knee being in the wrong position. Because, the inker can change the image as it goes. But I got to say, that shot of Jobber standing there shaking hands with U.S., that's a pretty good shot. Like, it looks like very realistic from my point of view.
I actually like the art in this.
Yeah, it's fine, yeah. But anyway, so like you said, so he gives, wait, who pays who here?
The Jobber guy hired U.S. to take a haul to Peaceful Vista. I don't know what he was hauling. But so then U.S. gives the money to Poppa Wheelie to help him with the mortgage payments on the diner.
Right, okay. There you go. So then now, so everyone's all happy because, he's finished his mission. He's got the money, right?
Yep.
And now they're going to go in and hang out, I guess?
Did you read this, Michael?
No.
There's trouble.
I read it. I don't remember what they're going to do.
There's trouble brewing, Michael, because Widelow and Annie, when they were back, I think, at Peaceful Vista, she threw somebody through a plate glass window.
Oh, yes.
So just as they're about to, enjoy their evening, that fella who she threw through the window shows up with some police officers. And, his name's Mr. Legreed.
Right.
Mr. Legreed, because he's greedy. And so he wants them to arrest Widelow and Annie,
Right,
yeah.
And they expect her to, like, clock him, right? Like, knock him out.
Yeah, because Widelow and Annie's known for her temper.
Right. But instead, since she's been hypnotized, right? She's just like, because he gets in her face and starts mouthing off, and then she's just like, I'm sorry, Mr. Legreed, it was wrong to hit you, it won't happen again. And then he's like, very well, that will suffice. So he kind of backs down, right? And leaves everyone alone.
Because he was yelling at her, he was giving it to her pretty good. You hear me? Apologize, you horrid, unkempt, fat excuse for a woman.
Yikes, yeah. Harsh words, eh?
Yeah. So, but yeah, like you said, she actually apologizes. And he's like, all right, I'll let it go this time. Because, you just threw me through a window. But it's all right, don't worry about it. I'll let it go.
Water under the bridge. There you go.
But he said, if you miss one more mortgage payment, I'm taking this diner away from you. So he's leaving he leaves with the cops. And then the U.S. says, wonder what he's got against us. She threw him through a window. That's what he What's the big mystery?
Yeah, strange.
But anyway.
This is like Dukes of Hazzard reality here, but anyway.
Yeah, that's how they actually pitched it in the what do they call that, Michael?
Like the pitch? Or
how each issue goes to what's the word I'm looking for? No, but like when they give it to the comic shop, they're like, hey, this is what this book's about.
Like the synopsis?
No. There's another word I'm looking for.
I don't know. Yeah.
But anyway, whatever. We'll cut this out in post. But they described it as basically Dukes of Hazzard kind of a story.
Wow. So that's probably where they were getting all their characterization from, right?
Yeah, because this was 1983.
Right.
And this is Dukes of Hazzard was king back then.
Yes.
So, yeah, this is their take on a Dukes of Hazzard comic book. U.S.1.
Right.
So, yeah.
I remember I used to race home, I think it was Friday night, to see Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, I used to enjoy the Dukes of Hazzard quite a bit, yeah.
I think everyone did, yeah. So then they go into the shortstop, and then we are left with the truck, U.S.1, just talking about, like, oh, it sure is lonely being a truck sometimes, right? We get some of that.
It's so terrible.
Right.
Oh,
I never
God.
get to take part in the good times, the conversation, the food, the coffee. Then all of a sudden we see someone else getting thrown through a window. Crash. The fights. Maybe it's not so bad being a truck after all. And then we see, I guess that's U.S.1 who's like, oh no, here we go again. Right?
So Poppa Wheelie and Retread are running out of the diner. I guess, I don't know who's fighting, just their normal customers or Wide Load Annie's throwing people through windows.
Right.
But then we see another guy get thrown through a window.
Yeah,
it's like,
so
holy
that's
fuck.
2 in 1 issue. That's funny.
But then Poppa Wheelie, he's admiring the U.S.1, the truck, and he's like, this beauty here is my masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess he takes care of U.S.1.
Yeah.
But Mike, U.S.1 spots someone coming up behind him. And he's like, what the heck? If Papa likes to think of me as a female... Oh, yeah, because Papa says she. He's like, if Papa likes to think of me as a female, I guess I can live with that. I'm secure in my identity.
There you go.
And then, but then US1 says, hey, what's that in my side view mirror? Something moving in the shadows. Look out. Blast. If only I could warn them. And then bang, they get cracked with the midnight whip.
Yep.
I like how when the whip cracks with the hypnotizing power, like we get like a rainbow effect of little circles coming off it. I think, I want to say Daredevil had a villain that did something like this. Or maybe it was the Flash. It's the Flash? Did he have a villain that did stuff like this?
I think the Flash had Rainbow Raider.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe the circles are reminding me of Daredevil's sonar.
Bullseye. Bullseye, right?
Yeah. But remember in the old days they had a sonar sense? They would put the circles in and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway.
So
Midnight. Cracking him with the whip there, Michael. So now we cut to the next page. Boom, we see Midnight in all her glory standing there.
Just standing there, yep. And Poppa Wheelie's knocked down, his hat is off, right?
Yep.
And then she's like, there, dear boys, don't strain your mental capacities trying to break free of my spell. Better men than you've tried and failed. So, yeah. She's like,
one other creator note here, Michael. There's a little asterisk there saying, our whip-wielding wild woman first appeared in issue 2. Read it myself, Ralph. That's Ralph Macchio.
Of course.
And I guess this is his first book that he ever edited, U.S.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think he just started. Or maybe not like this. This title is one of the group of first books that he was an editor on, is how I should say it. Yeah.
Cool. So then she's like, go bring me U.S. Archer. And bring the woman called Wide Load Annie as well. And they're like, yes, ma'am, because they're hypnotized now, right?
Yep.
So then they go in and they come out with US1, right?
Yep.
And then the truck is still talking, but they can't hear the truck. And US1 is like, I swear, you people are sounding like Huey, Dewey, and Louie, right? Who we all know is Donald Duck's nephews. And then, what's her name? Midnight is like, and you're about to discover why. And she's kind of in the shadows right now. So then US1's like, hey, who's that in the shadows? And then next panel, Midnight? Wait, why are you guys grabbing me? Let me go, she's dangerous. More dangerous than you think, truck driver. So then the other guys grab him and restrain him, right?
Yeah.
And so like she's getting in US1's face, and she's like, I decided that if I couldn't control you, the best way to overcome you would be to control your friends. I knew you couldn't struggle hard enough to hurt them, and I was right. So this is where we get the flashback to the previous issue, right?
Yeah.
Where we find out that before she ordered me to drive right into a mountainside, this is US1 thinking, she let me have a stick of gum, sort of as a last request deal. I put the foil wrapper in my mouth, and when it touched the fillings in my teeth, it caused interference on my metal CB skull, which blocked her whip's mind-controlling emanations. That is fucking awesome.
And that actually was issue 2 where that happened.
Yes.
When she came in. But, Mike, at the top of that page, I love that panel of Midnight. Just her face. The close-up
it's pretty
of her
good.
face. Yeah, it's really good. I like that. Yeah.
Yep. This is all good stuff. It's all glorious stuff. But
hey, Mike, we get a...
I'm
sorry, but we mentioned the advertisements here. We get another one. There was an earlier advertisement for another Saturday morning cartoon network.
Right.
I can't remember. But here's one for NBC.
Right.
And we've got Mr. T, the Smurfs, Incredible Hulk, and Spider-Man and his amazing friends.
Amazing. And then, and don't forget the next page, we've got Alvin and the Chipmunks, Flintstones. Some tiger thing. I don't know.
Shirt tails.
Okay, Shirt Tails. And then we've also got Thunder the Barbarian, created by Jack Kirby and Steve Gerber.
Yeah, this is pretty awesome.
Yep. And that's kind of a precursor to He-Man, I think. Anyway. But anyway. So then Midnight jumps on her motorcycle. And this is kind of awkward storytelling because she's just kind of on the motorcycle, but already like an inch away from US1. But then she's like next to him, and then she like whips her whip out, right? And it like you said, I guess it doesn't actually hit US1, does it?
Well, here she is hitting him with it.
Okay.
Because she's driving around and she's circling them with her whip, and she says, "Once I've softened you up, I'll try the whip's mental control again. Perhaps the last time you overcame it, it was just a fluke. But first I said, let's soften you up." So she's actually cracking him in the face with that whip.
Right.
That would like murder him. I mean,
right.
He'd be bleeding and everything, but yeah. So yeah, she's just riding around cracking him with the whip. Right. And she's about to use the mental powers again to try and hypnotize him when U.S.1, Michael, the truck, is talking to himself.
He's like, oh no, the trucks. U.S. is in real trouble now, and I'm the only one who can help him. But without him, I can't move. I'm just a machine, a pile of glass, rubber, and steel. I can't do anything unless... Wait! And then we see a close-up of him reaching into his pocket. Wait! What's U.S. doing? He's fumbling in his pocket for something. Yes! It's his special silver dollar, the one with the hidden microcircuits. He can use that to command the remote control robot unit, a robot drive unit in me. If he can just activate it, I can help him. Come on, U.S., turn it on! And then, but... Oh no, just when he was about to activate me, Midnight hit the coin with her whip, and there seems to be some kind of electric backlash. The jolt is affecting U.S.'s CB skull. I can feel it myself. Now U.S. has dropped the dollar, and then it drops to the ground. There goes our last hope, and it's just laying there.
Yeah.
I gotta say...
This is a great panel at the bottom of the page, too, of her and the motorcycle coming in.
Yeah, she's like riding away, and then his lights come on. But I gotta say, it's kind of pointless to have a truck that can talk but can't act unless U.S. activates him, right?
Well, that's why I think it's just a quirky little gimmick for one issue.
Okay,
you know what I mean? Like that's all it is. It's not like a recurring thing.
Okay.
But at the bottom of that panel of her riding away, he, like you said, US1 turns his lights on because he's like, "Hey, my lights went on." Because I guess when she cracked the coin with her whip, she actually turned it on. Or something.
Yeah. So then U.S. the truck is like, roof lights on. Wait. Is the truck U.S. or US1?
The truck is US1. U.S. is the fella.
Gotcha. So U.S.
It's very confusing. I don't know why they did that. Because when I first started reading the book, I was like, wait, what's going on? I had to go back and read it a second time to figure out, the truck is US1 and he's U.S.
Yes. So then the truck is like, roof lights on, start the engine, put it in gear, let's roll. So then the truck is driving towards Midnight, and then Midnight's shocked because there's no one in the truck to drive it, right? So then the Midnight tries to use her whip, but it has no effect. And then the truck is like, well, to tell the truth, it does tickle a bit. and then all of a sudden, now the truck starts spraying her with this green gas, right? And she's
tear gas.
Tear gas, yeah.
And look, she has two little tears coming out of her eyes.
Yeah, yep. And then she tries to whip him again, and then she's like, my whip, the grappling hook snatched away from me. So I guess the truck has a grappling hook, and it, snatches it. And then all of a sudden, it shoots, what is this that comes out of its horn?
I think he's just honking. That's just air coming out.
Honk. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's chasing after her, and she's driving away, right? And the truck's still following her. And then the truck is like, I'll take out her puny little motorbike with some tire shredding stars. So somehow the truck shoots like almost ninja stars, right?
That's right.
Or is this like a thing that not trucks, but like, I think this is the thing I remember seeing in like Greece, right? Where like cars would do this. This is obviously like an illegal thing, but it would just shoot things out to like
kind of like when you were a kid, Mike. Did you ever play jacks?
Yeah, like jacks.
Yeah, like those little jacks with the spikes. You throw them out, and they pop tires and stuff.
Right. I never played jacks, but I know what they are. Yeah.
Well, I had a sister,
and
she always playing the jacks with her girlfriend. But Michael, when he throws those spikes there on the ground, U.S.1, he's like, oh no, I forgot. She had a booster on her bike, so she just starts flying on her bike.
Yeah. She's like, I'll be back, and next time none of you will escape me, not even that putrid pile of red, white, and blue scrap metal. She just flies away. And
but then U.S.1, go blow out your exhaust pipe, you bimbo.
Yeah. Woo, what an insult.
But she doesn't get away quite yet, Michael, because U.S.1 starts shooting her missiles at her and stuff.
This is crazy, yeah. And yeah, he's like, I still got a few heat-seeking missiles left from when U.S. and I fought Baron von Blimp. And at the bottom it says, right. Way back in issue 4.
Baron von Blimp.
So then she lands on her motorbike midnight. And she's like, can't stay aloft forever. And now that I'm back on the ground, that self-propelled semi will never be able to reach me. No way, no way. No way, no way, no way, no! And then explosion. Boom, yeah. Kablam.
Sorry. This is the best. All right, so we see like a shot of like a mountain range in the distance, and her saying, no way, no way, no way, no way. You can't even make her out, but barely on the horizon. And then we see some missiles going shot up into the sky, and then they just kablam, blow up, and she says, like she's
right, yeah. Well, she says, no way!
Yeah.
And then she gets cut off.
But yeah, it's just off in the distance over the mountain ridge, so we can't even see what happened. But it's awesome. This is so fucking awesome. Yeah.
Right. And so basically now, so then US is he's like, okay, now while the gang is wrapped up watching the fireworks, gotta make my move. Okay, truck, you did your part. Now let me have that whip so I can do mine. And then so he connects the whip. What does he do here?
He's just monkeying around with all the buttons, pushing all the buttons until magically it releases them from the hypnotizing.
Right. And then, of course, the truck... And then he's like, that explains why you acted so strange on the ride back. Somehow Midnight used her hypno whip on you. She must have been waiting for us back in the town. And the truck's like, that's what I was trying to tell you. But, of course, he can't hear the truck, so it doesn't matter, right?
That's right.
So then everything seems to be okay now. And then basically, so it's like, time to go back to, what is it called? The shortstop?
Yeah, the shortstop diner.
Right. And then they start walking back towards the shortstop, and the truck is like, I would do the same thing if I were a person, but I'm not a person, only a truck, a machine. Yep, a very special machine, but still just a machine. So keeps talking, but then we cut and we see that someone is watching US1 on a camera, right? On like a viewfinder or whatever it's called.
Well, US1 is talking there, Michael. He's like, and because of that, I'm just being a machine. I couldn't help myself. I had to reveal the information that was asked of me.
Yes.
Someone or something tapped into my circuits, locked into my computer memory bank. I had to reveal everything. I just narrated. I didn't want to do it, but you had no choice, and that's the highwayman talking.
Right.
I tapped into your circuits. I made you reveal all you know about your master, U.S. Archer. I sent Midnight against you to see how man and truck work together. And even though you defeated my agent again, I have learned enough now to destroy you both. The stakes are higher than anyone knows, and soon, now, very soon, the highwayman will triumph. And we just see him from behind. We don't ever see his face. And next issue, Crack the Whip.
Woo! Exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you read the letter page, Michael?
No, I didn't. Should I have?
Yeah, well, it's called Behind the Wheel, all right? Okay. And the first letter, it's, Dear Marvel, US1 is a good comic book. He put that in quotes. Then he says, please, give me a break. Issue 5 has finally proven to me that US1 is no ordinary comic book. It isn't good at all. It's great. I don't know what you people think you're doing, but I think that Al Milgram is really Stan Lee using another name.
Yikes.
This guy loves it.
Yeah.
But so
written by Ralph Macchio. Anyway, go ahead.
He goes on for about four paragraphs, just praising the book. And by the way, Michael, that was written by David M. Summerfleck of Virginia Beach, Virginia, 2346.
Yeah.
So then the next letter says, Dear Al, you might consider checking into the local sanitarium for a decade or two. Just show them a copy of US1 number 4. They'll probably give you a discount rate. The only thing that was even halfway amusing in this issue was the chicken sitting on the Universal Price Code box on the cover. And that was written by Rick S. Jones, 11292 West 17B, Argos, Indiana 46501. I love when they just put people's home addresses.
Yeah, they'd never do that now, eh?
But but how about that on the letters page? They actually printed a letter, someone just ripping on them.
Very negative, yeah, surprising.
Yeah. And another one of the letters is ripping on them for doing a bunch of bad puns and stuff. So yeah, I guess they just printed any letter they got.
You know what else is crazy? I just found out through this letters page, this was a bi-monthly comic. Did you know that? Which means it didn't last a year. It lasted 2 full years.
Wow.
Yeah. Crazy.
So, so there it is, U.S.1. All right, Michael. There's a lot to talk about here.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here.
I'm just going to say it. I fucking love this.
It was very enjoyable. I'll give you that.
Like, again, on a scale of terrible. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we watch those terrible movies on the LCS Hockey Radio Show. And, like, this is everything you want. Like, it's goofy characters with crazy names. The plot is just kind of absurd, a talking truck that no one else can hear.
Right.
Midnight is awesome, by the way. I legit love her. Like that villain. Like, she is hot. I love her. She's got the whip. She's cracking a whip. She's riding a motorcycle. And then she thinks she's getting away. She gets blown up by missiles. This is amazing. Yeah, we got the evil villain in the shadows pulling all the strings. We got a guy named Poppa Wheelie, and Wide Load Annie. This is pretty awesome stuff. I'm a big fan of U.S.1. He's got a metal skull that can take up radio
crazy.
frequencies.
Yes, that is insane.
And by the way, when Midnight, I don't know if you talked about how in the previous time he encountered Midnight, he asked for a piece of gum, and he accidentally chewed on the metal, and that broke her spell on him. So when she had everyone else hypnotized holding him, he was just desperate to get to his truck so he could get more gum. That's what.
See, this would make a great movie, okay? Or a TV show. This is awesome.
I love this so much. Yeah, listen, the idea of the talking truck, like I said, I don't think they did it in any other issues.
Okay.
Because if they did, that'd be terrible. I mean, it's bad here.
Yeah.
But for just one issue, it's kind of quirky and so bad, it's awesome. But if you did it the whole series, that'd be really bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep.
So, I don't know. I enjoyed it. The writing, is fine. But I really like the Frank Springer art because he has a very simple style. Seems like from the 60s or something, 50s or 60s. But it's really clean, and I just enjoy it quite a bit. If I could draw like that, I'd be very happy. That style. So.
Yeah, I agree. I've always liked his style. Because he did Transformers. He did some other things I like. So, yeah, I really like his style.
Yeah, there's nothing fancy about it. You're not going to be blown away like, oh, my God, this is amazing. But it's really clean and simple and just nice storytelling. And, again, a big fan of Midnight.
Yeah, yep. And
Midnight Strikes.
The thing is, one of the reasons I like toy tie-in comics is that every single toy tie-in is a completely different premise. Whereas superhero comics are all roughly the same. They're all, people's secret identities that fight crime, blah, blah, blah. But every toy tie-in is completely different. Like Transformers is different from G.I. Joe, which is different from ROM, right? Like they have to always cook up a completely new backstory for all of them. And that's one reason I like them.
And when you think about it, the fella, his backstory here, his whole the whole reason for this comic book to exist is because he wants revenge on a villain. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's not usually the backstory for a hero.
Right.
He wants revenge. Usually, like the villain's trying to get revenge on the hero for doing something, but here the hero's just out to get the highwayman. He wants to get that son of a bitch.
Yeah.
But
weird.
Pretty good. Yeah, big fan of US1. Now, Mike, spoiler alert. All right, I'm going to reveal some stuff here about US1. Okay. Now that we've known these characters, do you have any idea who Midnight is? Her secret identity?
Did they reveal it?
Yeah, later in the series they reveal it. She's actually Mary McGrill, the sweetest little waitress that's ever had her bottom pinched by a truck driver.
What? Really?
Yeah, she's that blonde waitress. Turns out, because I guess I jumped ahead, and they think that other lady that tearing down the highway is Midnight, and they actually accidentally kill her because they thought she was Midnight.
Whoopsie daisy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she accidentally electrocutes herself with that whip while they were beating her up or something. So, but actually, the other lady was framing her to get them to think she was Midnight. But Midnight is actually the waitress, Mary McGrill. And then later on, Mary McGrill in U.S. get married.
Oh, really? That's good.
Yeah. And I guess in the future, like in the subsequent years, U.S.1 and U.S., they go out into space.
Really? Oh, see, yeah, I'm reading ahead here, and I see that, yeah, they go out with, is it Rocket Raccoon and Planet X?
And Groot or something is involved.
Groot, they go to Planet X, yes.
Yeah, they transport Rocket Raccoon and Groot, and then I think he was in Deadpool, a Deadpool story, and so in the future, they're out in space. They're carrying stuff in space.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. But she actually leaves him. Then they separate. They have a kid together, and then she leaves him for an alien who is furry and has 8 vibrating hands.
Ooh, wonder what those could be used for. Huh.
So, that was part of the Deadpool storyline because Deadpool
right.
is funny like that. All right, so that's Midnight. That's her true identity. Do you know who the Highwayman is, Mike?
No. Who is he?
It's his brother, Jefferson.
Really?
Because when U.S. went away to college, Jefferson is the older brother. He never went to college. He had to work as a trucker to make money to support the family. So he was jealous that U.S. was able to go to college. So when U.S. came out of college, Jefferson tried to kill him.
Yikes. Oh, boy. This is good
that's
stuff.
U.S.1.
High drama.
I might read more U.S.1. I don't know. I might have to. I don't know.
I gotta say, I've always wanted to read this, and it's everything I hoped it would be. It's very entertaining.
I love Midnight. I can't say enough good things about Midnight. So I don't know, Mike. This may sound ridiculous, but I'm giving this 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10? On the crazy scale, though, right?
Yes. On the insane, terrible, awesome scale, 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, okay, fine. On the readability scale, I'll give it a 7 because it's definitely entertaining, and I'd probably read more for fun, for sure. So,
yeah, everyone needs to experience US1.
I agree.
It's pretty great. So there it is, US1. All right, Michael. Next week, your pick.
Here we go. We're gonna do
try to beat that.
I'll try. We're gonna follow the theme of toy tie-ins, Mike Dell. Okay?
Micronauts?
Nope. We're gonna read something. I don't know if you remember this one. But we're gonna read number 1 of the Inhumanoids.
I don't even know what that is.
Crickets. The Inhumanoids was a toy tie-in, and the cartoon was produced by Sunbow, which also did G.I. Joe and Transformers. So it's all the same voices, all the same sound effects, the same animation, everything. It's part of the Sunbow universe that consisted of G.I. Joe, Transformers, Inhumanoids, and Gem.
Okay, I've heard of all those other ones. I never heard of Inhumanoids.
Yeah, this was kind of the black sheep because it only lasted 1 year, and the toys were a failure, but the actual cartoon was really good. And this comic book is an adaptation of the cartoon, so.
And we're doing issue 1.
Yep, I just sent you the link.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Featuring the beast-busting Earth Corps.
Yeah, they're kind of like the Ghostbusters, you'll see what I mean.
They look terrible.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
All right, yeah, this might be able to beat US1.
We'll see. Cross your fingers. There you go, folks. You can find every episode of Flea Market Fantasy on Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts under Comic Book Syndicate. You can also follow us on the Syndicate website, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Each week we pick a different Bronze Age book. 1 week I pick, 1 week Mike Dell picks. So until next Tuesday, disperse!